So you're looking for a city that has great schools, it's very safe, has a thriving economy, and is in one of the best locations of all of Orange County? Well, I think I found the right city for you, and that would be Irvine, California. And today I am in the Great Park. As you can see right behind me, I've got the orange balloon. It's not flying today because, yeah, there's a little wind, so usually they won't fly it. But today we are going to be looking at the pros and cons of Irvine, California. So let's get right to it. Well, before we continue, let me go ahead and just introduce myself. I am Chris Goodwin. I've been a licensed realtor here in the state of California for 24 years. Furthermore, I've been living in Orange County for over 51 years, and I went to high school and junior high in Irvine. So I know Irvine very well and the entire county of Orange. So if you're looking to move in 9 days or 9 months, it's never too soon to reach out. You can call me, you can give me a text. If you're international, you can also reach me on WhatsApp. And just keep in mind, everybody's situation is unique. And once we have that phone call, we can really pin down what you're looking for. So let's get back to it. And we are going to be going over the pros and cons today of Irvine. And we are going to jump right into schools. Education is always a bigger one with parents. And I can't blame it because with my kids, that is a priority. And there's no doubt and no shortage of great education in Irvine. And if you go to two websites, greatschools.org or niche.com, you can check out any schools of your liking and find out where they rank. I'm going to give you an example. Here in Irvine Unified School District, it was ranked #1 by niche.com in Orange County, and also number 20 in the entire state. And there's a lot of school districts in the state of California, so that's quite the ranking. Furthermore, two high schools I'm going to focus on. One, because I went to Irvine High School. I checked niche.com and that is ranked A+. And it was wonderful when I went there, and it's still ranked really high. So the other big school that people really seem to focus on in Irvine is West Irvine, and that would be University High School. And that high school is actually ranked also A+. And then right across the street from University High School is the University of California, Irvine. And that was ranked by the U.S. News and World Report as being #9 as being the best university of all public universities in the United States. And when you combine private and public, they have them at number 33. It's a fantastic research university. They have a huge medical center actually around the county, and they are thriving when it comes to research. But furthermore, they have an amazing law department and business school and so much to offer. So if you go in and do your research, you're going to find out how great UCI really can be. So that's the schools in Irvine. There's no shortage of great education here, but we're going to move right into safety. I'll tell you this, if you do a little bit of checking on the web, you're going to see that Irvine was ranked 18 years straight as being the safest city in America. Now, that was based on the FBI statistics, and that was for populations of 250,000 plus. So Irvine is incredibly safe. And their police department, they do a great job. And I know that because I went to high school here and I saw how they dealt with the teenagers. They treated us with respect, but they also kept us in check. So that was actually a good thing. Now, in regards to Instagram, I would go and check out Irvine PD. And on Instagram, they post quite frequently what they're doing in the city. And they are cracking down, and they are making a lot of arrests. And they have no shortage of taking care of business when it comes to keeping us safe, the residents in Irvine. So schools and safety, huge. But let's move on to another pro, and that would be the thriving economy here in Irvine. Yes, this is a tech hub, both for startups and for existing tech companies. But furthermore, there's huge healthcare and finance companies here as well. And let me share some names, and you'll recognize some of these that are in Irvine. If you love tacos, well, we have Taco Bell. They have their headquarters here, but there's also Google and Broadcom and Allergan and Hyundai Capital and just so many more. Irvine has really 3 major hubs for their commercial district. That is down in the Spectrum area where the outdoor mall is. And then up by the airport off like MacArthur and the 405, on both sides of the 405, there's a huge commercial district there as well. But going back to UCI, the university, employs the most people in Irvine, and that would be over 26,000 people. And that's once again because they are a huge research university. So the economy is definitely thriving here in Irvine, and there's no shortage of jobs. And that moves me to the next pro, and that would be location. And the location is fabulous. And the reason is, if you work in Los Angeles, you can actually live in Irvine. And you have a couple of different interstates running through Irvine, and that is the 405 and the 5. And you could take either one of those up to LA. And typically you can be up to LA in about an hour. It just really depends on where in LA you're working. Now there are days when Irvine is going to see traffic, especially up in the north end of the county, and as you make your way to LA County. And when you go into LA County, that's where you're going to see your biggest gridlock, and that's where you may have your biggest issues. So, you may not want to live in Orange County if you're living or working in LA County, because yes, the commute could be quite daunting. And the airport here in Orange County is fantastic. It's right off MacArthur and the 405. So keep that in mind when it comes to location, because if you're in West Irvine or even Central Irvine, you can be there in about 5 to 10 minutes. That's another reason why the location of Irvine is so fantastic. But also from Irvine, you can be just about anywhere in the county in a reasonable amount of time, which is great. And here's the thing, it borders Newport Beach. And you can be down to Newport Beach in a very short amount of time as well. Depending, especially if you live in West Irvine, you can be down at the beach in about 10 to 15 minutes. You can just jump on MacArthur and just shoot down to Corona del Mar, and you can be down there in no time at all. And the other thing too, if you live in an area of Quail Hill or Shady Canyon in Irvine, which is also West Irvine, that is really close to the 133. And the 133 is what shoots down to Laguna Beach. And if there's no traffic, you can get down there in about 10 minutes. If there's traffic, it can be quite the drive. So it really just depends on the time of day. That's typically during the summer too, when you're going to see a lot of traffic going down the 133 into Laguna from Irvine around the Quail Hill and Shady Canyon area. So those are great locations as well for getting down to the beaches. But let's go into shopping. Shopping can be really fantastic in Irvine. If you go over to the Spectrum area, that's where the outdoor mall is. And that's where a lot of people congregate and just do a lot of great things there. And that is restaurants, and then they have a comedy place. They also have the Regal Cinemas, so you can see your movies there, Apple Store, the Nordstrom's, Cheesecake Factory, you name it, they've got all kinds of things for everybody. And a lot of people just go and hang out. They really don't do much. Some of them just sit around, drink some iced coffee, and just enjoy the activities there. And they have a Ferris wheel, and the Ferris wheel is really awesome. But during the winter months, you'll see ice skating there too. So if you're an ice skater, well, that's definitely a fun thing to do outdoors with the family. And that would be at Irvine Spectrum. Let's get to what's right behind me, and that is the fabulous weather. As you can see, it is blue skies today. It's going to be in the mid 60s here in Irvine with low humidity, very little wind, and it's just another gorgeous day. Here in Irvine, we see about 290 days of sunshine a year, and Southern California has no shortage of great weather, that is for sure. And during the summertime though, it can heat up, especially if you're on East Irvine, like up in the Orchard Hills area. You're gonna be running your AC during the summertime because it's gonna probably be averaging in the mid 80s. There are days it's gonna be in the 90s. There are a few days where it actually hits triple digits. That's not very often, but it does exist. So I'll just be real about it. You're definitely gonna be running the air conditioning during the summertime here in either Central or East Irvine, but West Irvine, that's a lot closer to Newport Beach, so that is a much more comfortable area than, say, Central or East. So that is the weather. Now here's another huge pro of Irvine. new construction. So yes, they started building most of Irvine. A lot of the homes were built in the 70s and 80s. However, they've continued to build up to the present time, and there is new construction, and that is currently going on in the Great Park and also in the Orchard Hills area. So if you're looking for new, they definitely have it. If you're looking for older, there's plenty of that too. So it really depends. But that'll lead me though into a con. And the con is the cost of a house here in Irvine. It is not cheap. The median for a single family residence right now is right around 1.5 million. And that fluctuates quite often. However, as you can see, it's not cheap, but there are small condos. And for example, I looked on the MLS yesterday and I saw there's a condo in Northwood for $400,000 range. But then I shot over to Shady Canyon and saw that on the MLS there's also a home. It's a custom estate. It's very large. It's amazing. It's $45 million. So there's really something for everybody. 400,000 all the way up to $45 million. But I will tell you, your typical single family residence here, like I was saying, the median was 1.5. So you're going to see a lot of homes in the $1 to $2 million range, and there's plenty of those to choose from. There's quite a bit of inventory right now. Now, Irvine is sought after, and homes do go typically quick. So that's something to keep in mind if you're looking for new construction, but it's definitely going to be expensive. Now, the new construction also has another con, and that is the Miller Roos. So the property taxes here in Orange County are typically right around 1.1%. But when you take the 1.1% with the new construction, you have to add in Miller Roos, which is bonds that they took out for infrastructure. And the residents are going to pay those bonds back every year on their property taxes. And those bonds can last anywhere from 20 to 40 years. That really varies from areas around the county. So you really just need to ask me, what are the areas that have Miller Roos? And I can steer you away from the Miller Roos if you choose to, but if you want new, yeah, unfortunately you're gonna have to pay the Miller Roos. But I can also do the research and find out how long each bond will last, because those are really searchable, and we can figure out when those are drop off so you can have the lower property taxes later. Well, let's keep moving on with the cons, and that would be nightlife in Irvine. If you're looking for nightlife, you're not going to find a whole lot of it in Irvine. This is a family community, and it is master planned for families. And typically, they're going to shut down pretty early. The latest you're going to probably see is Irvine Spectrum. On Friday and Saturday nights, you'll see the restaurants are going to stay open until about 11 p.m. Other than that, you're not going to see a whole lot in Irvine late at night. And if you're looking for late night stuff, you're going to be probably going down to Newport Beach or over to Costa Mesa or even Anaheim, because you're going to find a lot more places that are going to be open. But typically for families, yeah, 11 o'clock is late enough anyways. But there are some fantastic restaurants around the city for the earlier hours. So there's no shortage of entertainment and great restaurants. It's just that, yes, if you're looking for late night stuff, it's not going to be here in Irvine. But that leads me also into the next con, and that would be HOAs. With this being a master plan community, almost the entire city is under HOAs. Yes, almost every housing tract has some form of HOA. Now, there is a couple small pockets with that HOA, so if you're looking for that, I can steer you in the right direction. But a lot of people don't like HOAs, but some people actually love them too, so it can go both ways. But for right now, as a con, the reason is, one, you got to pay for it, because they're going to charge you monthly fees. And then two, they're going to regulate what you can and cannot do to your home. So they do determine, the paint colors of the exterior and whether or not you can change the exterior of your home. But then also on your community, if it's a HOA parking lot, well, they're going to regulate the parking typically. Now, public streets outside your house, no, they're not going to regulate that, but definitely if it's owned by the HOA, the streets, it's going to be regulated. And then also the pools and the parks, they have their rules. So if you don't follow the rules, they have the option to fine you. But, there's some flexibility there. Some HOAs are a little more tough than others. So those are the cons of the HOAs. But let's move into another con, and that would be fire hazards. I'll give you an example. Over in Orchard Hills, that's on the extreme east side of Irvine. And Orchard Hills, because they are so close to the brush area, that is considered a fire area. And if that is deemed a fire zone in the state of California, the insurance companies are starting, what we're finding is pulling out. They're not insuring certain areas. But the insurance companies that are hanging around insuring the fire zones, they're just charging more money. So when you're looking for, a property in Irvine, you got to take that into consideration, because you can say, well, I want to be in Woodbridge, like, right in the central hub of Irvine, and not have those fire hazards. Well, great, that's a great location. But if you are willing to be, on the extreme east end, you just got to remember, yeah, you're going to be near brush, which it can be beautiful out there. It's just that those are the risks. So today we went over a lot of pros and cons of Irvine, California, and hopefully I gave you some great information, so maybe you can make a decision as to whether or not this is the right city for you and your family. And once again, I am Chris Goodwin. I've been a licensed real estate agent here in the state of California for 24 years. Been living in Orange County for 51 years, so I know this city and this county very well. And everybody's situation is very unique. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, feel free to reach out to me. You can call me, you can send me a text, and I look forward to talking to you and trying to figure out what city might be best for you, because you have 34 cities and 19 unincorporated areas to choose from. So until we have that talk, we won't know what's best for you and your family. So have a great day.